Why hello, and welcome back to 1 Minute Reviews with me, the YouTuber you forgot to unsubscribe to. No, please seriously stay. Last time I talked about all 15 physical Switch games I own, and if you haven't seen that video, please go give it a watch. But this time, we're going to step away from Nintendo Switch, so yes, kick that out the door, and talk about some other games, more specifically my personal top 10 favorite video games. But I put some guidelines in place, so they're not all Nintendo games, and specifically they're not all Zelda and Mario games. I only limit myself to 2 Mario and Zelda games. And once again, these are my opinions, so please don't hate me if you think my opinions are wrong or stupid. Instead, please leave yours in the comments below, and I'll be sure to read them. But anyway, it's time to start with number 10, and that is... Growing up as a kid, I was always obsessed with Spider-Man, but specifically the live action ones done by Sony. So getting this game was definitely a match made in heaven. But it's only one problem. I don't like open world games. But this is the only exception. I just love swinging around New York as Spider-Man. It's definitely one of my childhood dreams coming true, and I just love all the references they put in from the past Spider-Man movies. And the controller is very fluent to the point where it's just grasped in your hand. If you'd given me this game like 10 years ago, I would have been over the moon. And being one of the first PS4 games I played really made me love the console. And now I'm just here wondering why I didn't get a PS4 sooner. I'm just happy I get to experience now than never. It's probably one of the best gaming experiences I had in my life. Spider-Man PS4 is definitely worth picking up. There was a point in time where I didn't care for stories in video games. I was a child, I didn't care what was happening in the story, I just wanted to play the video game. That all changed when my cousin got me playing The Walking Dead by Telltale. After finishing the first episode, I was hooked. I soon started playing episode after episode until I eventually finished season 4. And man, it was a great story. I like to consider all 4 seasons of The Walking Dead one big game, but if I had to pick one season only, it would have to be the first season. I just find the most enjoyable one to play out of all 4. And I gotta say, Lee and Kenny are probably one of the best duos in video game history. And I just love the Telltale format. I'm so happy they're coming back in 2023. But just one quick little warning, if you don't want to pick up these games, they will make you sad and regret some of the choices you do make throughout the journey. This is one of the games I just picked up on a whim. I just saw it one day and went, might as well. And I barely knew anything about Tomb Raider up until that point, so I started playing it, and playing it, and playing it, until 11 hours in and I finished it. And afterwards I just sat there in disbelief about the masterpiece I just played. And very quickly on that day it became my favorite Xbox game. Visuals and music were great and it controlled beautifully, and I very quickly picked up the other 2 Tomb Raider games. I do love the character of Lara Croft, how she's so determined to continue the legacy of her father, but can still get very emotional when times get rough. And ever since then, third-person shooters have been one of my favorite game genres. I would highly recommend picking up at least one of these games. It's a really good game, and hey, Square Enix have part in making the game. When I grew up and started playing more mature games, The Last of Us was one of the games I always wanted to play but simply couldn't because it was a PlayStation exclusive. And all I had at that point was an Xbox and Wii. So 5 years later, after the fascination, I finally got my hands on a PS4 and a copy of The Last of Us Remastered. And I'm so glad I held out, because if I played this game back then I wouldn't have appreciated it. But now The Last of Us is my favorite PlayStation game of all time. I absolutely love the character development between Ellie and Joel, as it starts out as Ellie and Joel can't even stand each other, turning into Ellie looking up to Joel as a father figure. And I also really appreciate the affected people in the game, because since they're not your stereotypical zombie, they are a lot smarter and the AI is much more challenging. And this game probably has the best difficulty curve. I highly recommend getting The Last of Us even if you don't play PlayStation games. I'm so glad I got into Pokemon at a young age. I always love building a new team from scratch and exploring a new region. I've already talked about the Nintendo Switch remake, but I just prefer the DS one. I just think the DS one looks and sounds a lot better, and man, this game gives me such nostalgia. Since it was my first region of Pokemon, it's my favourite region of Pokemon. What can I say? I grew up with it. I've never restarted that DS cartridge, so I still got the same save since I was a child. And if you would like to see that team, I made a video about it. No, I didn't get the event Pokemon or complete the Pokédex, but I still love playing the game. If you're a casual player of Pokemon, I would recommend Generation 4, but if you like playing competitive, I would recommend the newer generation of Pokemon. And no, I don't play competitive Pokemon, it's never been my thing. Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga is also one of those games I just picked and want to win. But this time, I was 8. I didn't know any better, and for the longest time I've just thought it was a weird shady S game. But it was fun. Now what do I think 11 years later? It's still fun. Superstar Saga is definitely the best RPG I ever played. For being on the GBA, the music and graphics are incredible. And I say this game is just hilarious. Probably the funniest gag is the fact that they don't really mention Luigi by name. They usually just call him Green Mario or Green Stash. Yeah, they keep up to it throughout the whole series. This game is just really fun and enjoyable, and I highly recommend picking it up. It's even on Nintendo Switch now. I just hope Alpha Dream can come back one day and keep making these games, because these games are really fun. Please Nintendo, if they ever do come out, just please acquire them. Don't let another good third party go to die. Yes, I like Skyward Sword. Sue me. Skyward Sword is one of those games where I can constantly go back to without any issue. Even though a lot of people did, I had no problem with the motion control. All my problem was mainly nunchuck related. But anyway, even having an M rating in Australia, I was still allowed to play it when I was young because hey, it's Nintendo, how bad can it be? And man, I was glad that I was allowed to play it as a kid. I honestly like how the game controls and how it looks. And in my opinion, probably the best music in the franchise. And I'm gonna be honest, the main reason why I like it is the linearity. I just love linearity games. I just hate the fact that you can't access hero mode from the menu. You have to complete the game in order to get hero mode, even in the HD remake. And also Fire is a little annoying, but that's all I'm gonna say. Next! Stardew Valley is just one of those games where I can chuck on in any mood and have a great time. It's my first PC game and probably the only PC game I really enjoy playing. I love how the art style is 16-bit. It has so much details, but it's not too distracting that you constantly look away from the main goal. And the music is probably one of the best OST I ever heard. It's pretty incredible how this game was only developed by one singular person. And man, he did an incredible job to produce this game. Also, Stardew Valley gameplay can get pretty addicting. I should know. It was my exception for 2017. I just love the time I put into the farm, even though it can be deleted in 2 seconds. And because of Stardew Valley, I have made a lot of online friends. So, thank you Stardew Valley. You made me a little bit less of an introvert. With growing up with the Wii, I was bound to have exposure to this game, and this is the first jaw-dropping game I ever played. What is there not to love about this game? Everything is so amazing. I mean, except for a few hard styles, but anyway, I always prefer the first game over the second game because the second game doesn't feel like a sequel, it just feels like a retelling. In my opinion, it would have been much better if Galaxy 2 was a direct sequel, but anyway, even though a lot of people don't like the motion controls in this game, I think they work perfectly fine. Even knowing it's out for the Switch now, I still prefer playing on the Wii. And this game's special to me because it is the first game I ever 100%ed, and that took like 7 years. If you've never played Mario Galaxy, I highly recommend playing it. Even if it is the Switch port, it's just that good. And I'm just hoping it gets a real HD remaster like it rightfully deserves. Now, if you know me personally, this shouldn't come as a shock. And yes, I'm one of the people who think A Link to the Past is better than Ocarina of Time, because this game will always have a special place in my heart. I just love every part about this game. Music, graphics, gameplay, everything. With being one of the first video games I played along with Mario All-Stars, this game will always give me nostalgia. And this game is perfect for all types of gamers. Casual, competitive, newcomers, veterans, everyone. It's just really hard for me to put into words why I love this game so much. It's the game I will always be down to play. Even if I just beaten it, I will just play it again. It also just brings back long memories of childhood, and that is why A Link to the Past is my favourite video game of all time. So, there's my top 10 favourite video games. If you guys enjoyed the video, please give it a like, because there's no harm in doing that anymore, right? Also, if you like my content, please consider subscribing. So, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!